Happy Monday, folks. Anthony Speciale here with Speciale Analysis, unedited and on the edge of the market. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We're going to jump right into this week, get started as we always do with our major market update. The reason we do this is we look at the broad markets, big picture, Dow, Nasdaq, S&P, Russell, gold, oil, Bitcoin, dollar index. We cover those on a week-to-week basis. Obviously, we dive deeper during the week, and members of my, or readers of my Special Analysis Weekly, they really are dived deep into the entire market. Your level of commitment is ultimately up to you, but we're going to dive right in right now and see what we have to take a look at. So last week didn't leave us with much productivity as far as the indices go. So we've been now in a 5-week holding pattern, if you would, and you're going to see this essentially on all of the indices. So this is the Dow. You can see we've just basically hovered sideways. We continue to find support at this teal channel, but resistance above at this black and orange channel. So with that being said, we either need a push above, which would then send us towards the 200-day and resistance above, or a leg below. So it's one or the other. It's just a matter of time. That's ultimately what we're waiting for. Nasdaq looks kind of similar. Channel structures to the downside, below the 200-day moving average. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of basically sideways congestion. It's so sideways that it's actually walked its way out of the channel structure. It's just gone absolutely positively nowhere. So again, we're just kind of waiting to see. Although last week did not finish terribly, in fact, we were down for the week ever so slightly. S&P 500 also looks similar past 5 weeks, essentially sideways, reactive to this black support channel, this teal descending channel, and this orange descending channel as resistance. So we're, again, either we're going to, as this week opens, we're either going to pop out and have the opportunity to go above, or we're going to fall below and see what works for us here. So obviously we're still to the downside here. The structures we're building are to the south, and we are under the 200-day moving average. So we would have to see a pretty strong push back up to the upside to consider that this correction would be over. I don't know that we're there yet. So it's just all we can do at this point is really watch and see. Russell 2000 also looks similar. 5 weeks in the making of essentially just going sideways, walking along that black support line, approaching that yellow resistance channel, probably in the upcoming week or so. So we'll see how it's reactive to it. If we get a push to the upside or the downside, obviously to the upside, there's plenty of resistance to overcome, and to the downside, there is minimal support. So we'll see which way and which things swing. Gold futures, touched on this last week, told you there was an opportunity to sell 1742.3. In fact, there was. Buy it back 1705, placed a low for the week at 1695. So, we always put that 1% buffer in place. We don't want to we don't want to miss a trade because we're trying to be greedy. We want to take our profits because bulls make money and bears make money, and we don't care which side we're on as long as we are winning. So this worked out really nicely. Pretty happy about it. Everything kind of checked the box there, worked good. Crude oil. So crude oil triggered a weekly settlement here to the downside. You're, 2 weeks in the making of fighting the 200-day moving average. You could see in the past, we tested it, price pushes back above. Even though we settled under it for a very, very short period of time, price then pushed back above. I would be leery taking a short here. Yes, is it a technical setup? It is. But, you're literally pressing against probably the most well-known, this trend decision factor that exists in the market. It's, there's nobody that doesn't look at the 200-day moving average. So that's my thought. You can see we kind of came close to it last week, pushed price back up, settled above all these structures. This past week, we closed below. However, trying to overcome that 200-day moving average seems to be a struggle for prices. Dollar index, this has been grinding higher. We told you guys about 2 weeks ago that there was a buy offer at 106.82. Good target for this week is 109.58. Trade came pretty close to fulfilling the target this past week, backed off a little bit with the strength we had in the market this past Friday. But it's here for the taking. If we get some downside pressure to the market, easily this will push up much higher and pretty quickly. And this could also have the inverse effect on broader commodities, including crude oil. It could push the prices down. So just keep that in mind. We're keeping a close eye on this. And as always, last but not least, Bitcoin continues to exhibit pressure. We're in a several week sideways holding pattern here, some basing or compression going on, but we had a good sell-off. We're looking at support in the 15,000 handle. We'll see if we get that bounce or whatnot. It looks like next week we'll be approaching that yellow resistance structure, and we'll see where it goes. Either we break above or we go below, and I think that's the case in a lot of these major markets. It's we're going to see what happens, and that's the way the game is played. There are periods of time where you just have to acknowledge that you have to wait, and this is one of those times where you have to wait for the action to come to you. And again, it's summertime, so things do slow down ever so slightly. That's not to be unheard of. But with that being said, we can still read the market because we know how to, and that's what I'm here to share with you. So I hope you're having a great day. Hope you enjoyed your weekend, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. If there's anything I could ever do to help you, please feel free to reach out. info@specialanalysis.com. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.